Hey guys, welcome back to Dan Kapanek Photography. Man, look at this. Every time I do a video, I'm fatter. Yeah, I gotta start losing some weight, man. Get my butt in shape. Maybe if I get out with my cameras more often, I'll get more steps in. Anyway, speaking of which, finally, after, I don't know, a year and a half or so, I was able to get out, have some fun with my Nikomat Nikon camera. Like I said, I picked this up at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. When I first got it, I ran a quick roll of film through it. I used the Artista 100 stuff because it's inexpensive, and it did just great. My particular camera I actually got on eBay. I, of course, heard about it through YouTube like I do a lot of other cameras, and I got an excellent copy. It is in great shape. The only thing that is actually wrong with it at all was the corrosion in the battery compartment, which is probably fixable. I just haven't messed around that. And the other thing is, this thing came with a beautiful, just perfect 1.4 lens, 50mm. Super nice, man. And I got mine for like 75 bucks. It's insane. It not only it came with the original leather case, fantastic, and even got this little hot shoe gizmo, which they don't always have. Now, of course, this particular camera, the Nikomat, there was actually a couple of iterations shipped out. The Nikomats were released in Japan. The ones that say Nikomat were the ones that were released in the United States. Came out in the 60s and were built through the 70s. They were called Nikomats because Nikon wanted a distinction between their F line, the F1, 2, 3, etc., which was their pro line, and they wanted the distinction with the consumer, prosumer line. That said, even though it had fewer features than the F line, it still built just as well. People still love the cameras. Even a lot of the pros at the time would either use these as their backup cameras or their main cameras. This thing is just so sweet, precision, just the weight. It always astounds me that some of these old cameras weigh so much. As an object, it's not particularly big, but they weigh a lot, which is totally awesome. One of the things I really dig about these older cameras, especially these Nikon cameras and lenses, is they got this little tab on there, and you put the lens at 5.6, put it on there, and then you basically sort of cock it, and that calibrates the lens to the light meter, the built-in light meter. Of course, you don't have to do that if you don't use a light meter, but I still think it's super cool. Even though I don't have to, I love the process. I just think that's a neat feature. That's totally awesome. Anyway, so yeah, here's a few pictures from the test roll. Came out super great.
Black eye looking at the way things are, been broken, bruised, and burned.
So now, I was able to go ahead and get out, jump in my truck, and go get out there and then start taking some pictures. First, I went down. I had a client shoot, which it'll show here, and I went down to the art district, and then from there, I also did some stuff downtown. So go ahead. Here's some of the video from that. So I'm off on an adventure. It's been a little while. It's good to be back out. I'm spending some time with my Nikon Nikomat FTN. Such a cool camera, and I haven't done much with that, so I'm going to go out and do that today. I have a regular photo shoot with a client, then right after that I'm going to go ahead and just go downtown and start taking some pictures. I got it loaded up with some Kodak Ultra 400, and I'll probably just shoot sunny 16 today since it's very sunny out. So that's where we're headed right now.
We live, got nowhere left to turn. Terrified, our hands are tied. Break at the womb, it's suicide. Slowly beaten down by pride. No matter what, gotta try the urge. Just can't stop the surge.
So Houston has an awesome art scene. They've taken called the Sawyer Yards and silos and some other things. They've taken a lot of old warehouse buildings and whatever and have converted them to studios for artists, and there's hundreds of them here, all sorts of different types of arts. I completely recommend you coming down here and taking a look if art is your thing. You won't go wrong, and supporting local art is always one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to walk around here right now. This is where I'm meeting my client, but for now I'm going to run around here and, with my FTN Nikomat and see if I can get some cool shots.
I'm retained by the dreams of all, those promises never come. Shattered by this frustrating world and the history we're from. Horrified, our hands are tied. Generation instinct crucified. Can't justify, don't trust the lie. Nothing we can do can satisfy the urge. Just can't stop the surge. Our minds go pop the pain. Wanna share with stain, but they just don't care, no. Forsaken by the choices made in the past. Our futures uncertain. We're walking on glass. How long till we reach the end of our road?
All right, so the first roll of film with those pictures was Kodak Ultra 400. After that, I loaded up some Fuji 400 and got out there with that. One of the things we did is I took it to a German festival, which was a lot of fun. So here's some quick footage of that and the images that went along with that.
We tightening the noose around our own
Okay, so while I was there, I reloaded the camera when I was done with the Fuji 400. I put in some 400 Tri-X, and these are some of the images from that.
Why not fighting when the war's a lie and nothing's ever gonna change? Give up trying and we sacrifice all the years of blood, sweat, and pain. Close your eyes and see the prize. Grab it by the throat, live the life.
So yeah, I didn't get into a lot of the details about this camera. There's plenty of videos about that. I've managed to collect many cameras over the last several years from this era that I absolutely love. But as I downsize my collection, the Nikomat is one of the ones I will keep. For me, not only does it feel good, and I just love the quality that you can feel in it, but I don't have very good eyesight anymore. I have a hard time focusing manual lenses. Trying to sort through that with glasses or whatever. But anyway, this particular camera, the viewfinder and this lens combination was much easier for me to gain sharp focus. So it's one of the benefits of it. But anyway, as I was saying, as I downsize my collection, the Nikomat system, this camera will be one of the keepers I keep for a long time. I highly recommend it. I think they're a bargain. Probably every bit as good as the F. Obviously, there's certain features that are cool with the F, like, you know, changing the different prisms and things. But if you run across one of these, definitely want to pick one up. So I'm real happy with the images with it. I will continue to shoot with it. I highly recommend it. And that's about it, man. I want to thank you so much for watching. And remember what I always say, keep shooting. Take care, guys. See you on the next one. I'm out.
But they just don't care. The urge just can't